Being a filmmaker is no joke, man. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you some of the lessons that I learned from the first short film that I shot as a cinematographer. In this story time, so last year around November, December, I got an opportunity to shoot my first short film. You know, when you're starting out, no experience, no mentor, nobody. It's on you to get your opportunities. And I just told these guys I can do it. They were desperate and they got me in. And it was quite a learning curve, you know, and that's the one thing that I've learned about the film industry is a lot of times you're just thrown into the deep end and you have to find your way out. And a lot of what we do is a lot of problem solving, because when you're starting out, you are limited in terms of resources and things that you can do. You know, your director or the scriptwriter has things that they want to be done, but because we are a small team and there's no budget, it's almost difficult. But you have to find different ways of making the impossible possible. So the first thing that I learned was your key job as a cinematographer or even as a director is to problem solve. So that's the first thing. Like from the moment you step in, you're literally walking into problems. I remember walking in and they didn't have lighting, they didn't have cameras, they didn't have anything. They just had a script and an idea. So I had to go get my camera. The camera that we used for that shoot was the Sony a7 IV, and I had mainly been using the a7 IV to take photos. I had mainly been using it to make YouTube videos. I had never used it to record an entire movie, and I didn't know how you do that. Like, how do you shoot a short film? This was the first time ever, like from it being a pipe dream, you know. Being a DP is about problem solving. Your main job is to bring the director's vision into real life whilst using the equipment available to you. We only had newer lights and an a7 IV in the sun to make this shot, so most of the time we had to finesse the light and cater to different rooms. And because we didn't control the light in the different rooms, sometimes I had to rely on everyday house bulbs and just hope that you know, in post everything will be fine. The next thing that I learned was gear does not matter. You know, you can have the best gear in this world, but if you have a terrible story, it will not work. So the second thing is gear does not matter. If you do not know what you're doing, you can have the best gear in this world and it will not help you. For the movement shots, you know, what the shots that they wanted, there's one shot whereby the guys are going up the stairs, you know, there's stuff like that, and I had to follow them up, and I had a gimbal. But the thing that would happen is every time that I would use the gimbal, it would not let the camera record internal audio for some reason. I still haven't figured this out. So you can have the best gear in this world, but if you do not understand how to use that gear, you're wasting your time. You know, you're wasting money, you're wasting effort. The other thing, the good thing is having the gear allows you to experience these things and learn how to use it. But even if you have it, if you don't take time to learn your gear, you're wasting your money and your time. A third lesson that I learned was you need to have at least 2 sources of audio recording. So right now, as I'm recording, you will see that in most of my cameras, I move like this. I right now, the camera that I'm recording with, there's a microphone. So I have a microphone connected to the camera, and then I'm recording audio into this as well. Like I learned that lesson the hard way. Like you have to have 2 sources of audio, otherwise you will live to regret it if you cannot find, if one thing happens, you know, God forbid, any malfunction happens. You need at least 2 sources of audio capturing. On the day, we relied mainly on the Rode Mic Go and another Rode Mic connected to a phone. What happened for me was when I showed up, everything just happened weirdly. My Zoom H1N, which I had been using for the past 3-4 years with the same micro card, all of a sudden would not accept the micro SD. And I made a quick Google search and they were like, yeah, it only takes micro SDs that are 32 gigs and below, and the one that I had at that time was 64. I was like, wait, I always record it with the same settings, nothing has changed. But you know, these things happen at the wrong time, right? Like you don't choose when you get rained on, and that's what happens. So that was a lesson. Like you gotta have at least 2 to 3 sources of audio, recording audio. The third thing is that I learned is editing. When you're editing a short film, when you're editing work for other people that's not yours, it's very difficult because A, you don't share the vision, and B, you probably don't see the story, where it's coming from and where it's going. One of the challenges that I had with this short film was it was all in Spanish, so I didn't understand the word that was happening. I'm trying to learn my Spanish, but I didn't understand any word. So that means in order to edit it, I had to rely on someone to translate to me what's happening in order to be able to capture certain moments. We finally put in subtitles when it was all done, and I was watching it back and I was like, damn, I would not have used those songs in those moments. I just didn't understand, because sometimes the music is too much, but because I didn't have context. So this is something that I learned, that when it comes to editing, it can be frustrating when you do not have a clear direction on what you're trying to do. In most cases, as an editor, you're just a tool for the director. So you need to be able to communicate and coordinate appropriately. Otherwise, it takes time. And that's the other thing. Like when you're editing work that's not yours, people don't move at a certain pace that you move at. You know that for me, once I start editing, I just lock in and I know what I'm doing, and I'm just looking for pieces and I'm cutting it up. Like when I'm shooting or when I'm doing anything, I usually edit in the shot. Like I just try to minimize the amount of clips that I have to work with, and I know what I want once I sit down. Another lesson that I took out from this film was music is important to what you're trying to achieve in terms of theme and delivery. I had to rely a lot on Epidemic Sound for this one. Like I'm a music producer, I'm a beat maker, I can make music. I thought that I'll make original music for this, but I just realized it ends up taking time, which makes sense, because a lot of times like people work on 3-4 projects a year, and then that takes them 2 to 3 years to just fix until they can put it out into the world. But like for me, I just believe in moving quick, right? Because like I'm still at the beginning. So for me right now, it's just about that putting in the reps. And so Epidemic Sound came in clutch for me. Epidemic Sound is a platform whereby you get music for your videos. I use Epidemic Sound in my everyday YouTube videos. If you're looking for, they have different genres on the platform, like from rock, from different themes, and we just help you set the mood of your video. If you guys are looking to sign up into Epidemic Sound, I have an affiliate link below. This helps support the channel. Please consider doing that. I'll get a kickback from them at no extra cost to you. And I do believe they give you a discount as well for using that link. So yeah. The final thing, and this is a message to anybody who works on set, it's everyone on set matters. I've listened to some actors say, I'm the reason you guys are all here. The truth is, when we're on set, man, we are here for the story. We're not here for the actor. We're not here for the director. We're not here for the producers. We are here for the story. So always treat everybody and understand that we are all working for one goal, and that is to make the picture, that is to tell a story. So always understand that when you're on set, everybody matters. Don't disrespect people. Don't look down upon people because you're either the most paid or whatever. Like, just respect people. That's something that I learned, and for me now, every time I'm on set, I try to be as respectful as possible, and I try to be as engaging as possible with anybody despite their rank. I used to be the background actor showing up on set just wanting to learn and see, and now I get to show up on set as a DP, as a director. So that's amazing for me. With that said, I hope you guys got some value out of the life lessons that I learned. I'll leave a link to the short film that we did. Let me know what you think about it, and yeah, I'll see you in the next one.